The reason I ask is that you'll be aware, and firstly I just want to commend the staff in the Passport Office who are under severe pressure and who are doing their level best to deal with the increased demand. You may have heard the Irish Ambassador to Britain, Dan Mulhall, earlier today actually talking about the dramatic increase in passport applications from the United Kingdom. And I'm just wondering this. I think that we had a 9% increase last year, year on year. It's probably projected to increase further than that. I've met with the head of the Passport Service quite recently. And I wanted to know, Minister, do the Passport Office have the resources that they need? Are you confident enough that they have the manpower there in place and indeed the systems? I know the online renewal and the online passport application has been very successful in the short time that it's been launched, but I am sure, like all other deputies and indeed yourself, Minister, receiving on a daily basis calls from very distressed people whose passports aren't going to be available in time for them to travel. It's particularly stressful. There are families who are paying a lot of money for probably their one holiday they're going to get each year. Has there been any thought of actually looking at maybe changing the application insofar as people with travel documents, as opposed to, let's say, if you look at the increase in applications coming in from Britain, maybe to just have the passport but not necessarily for a need to travel? Are you looking at any changes in procedures at the moment, and are we going to be able to continue to cope with the increased demand?
Minister Flanagan.
Well, I want to recognise, that this is a challenge, and it's an ongoing challenge of significant dimensions, having regard to issues as raised by Deputy O'Brien. Indeed, a total of 75,145 applications have come from Northern Ireland, and almost 70,000 from Great Britain between the 25th of June last year and the 29th of May this year. This is an increase in applications, 50% from Northern Ireland, 55% from Great Britain over that period. I am keeping the situation under review at all times, and indeed I welcome suggestions from deputies, and I was very pleased to have the matter introduced by way of discussion at the Foreign Affairs Committee last week. We have taken on new staff. As of January this year, 301 permanent full-time equivalent staff were assigned to the Passport Service. This is up 272 full-time equivalent staff from January 15, and then to assist with strong seasonal demand from April and July, we have almost 230 temporary clerical officers in place. The matter remains under review. It is a challenge, but we are anxious to provide a level of service that will deal with all applications in a timely manner. But again, my advice has got to be for people to check their passport and apply in time.
Deputy O'Brien. 1 minute.
Just very briefly, I thank the Minister for his response, and also the fact that this is under continual review. As I've said, I think all of us know the stresses that this leaves on families when they find their passports may not be processed in time, or indeed they're out of date. So it should be the first thing they should do before any holidays or travel is actually booked is to check their passport. But the figures that you've given me in relation to the increases in such a short time of applications from the north of Ireland of over 50% and from Britain of 55% are stark. And have your department, in conjunction with our diplomatic service in Britain, looked at projecting that forward into next year? I think, if anything, now when we get into the Brexit negotiations further, when people actually maybe realise in Britain that they are actually leaving the European Union, and the value that an Irish passport will hold with regard to freedom of travel across the rest of the European Union and residents, I just want us to prepare for the worst, and I think that we should, because for people who need passports to travel, their applications are being caught up with the system. For other people who are simply concerned, and I understand that, they're concerned about their travel rights within Europe at any time into the future.